Hello, movie fans. How are y'all doing today on this lovely night? Today, I'm going to talk about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This movie comes out on December 16, 2016, so it is just a week or two away, and I'm beyond excited to watching this movie. Because this movie is coming out real soon, I want to talk about everything that you need to know before you go watch Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Because obviously you're gonna watch it because of course it's gonna make $1 billion. So today I'm gonna talk about the summary. What is this movie about? When is this happening? The characters and who are we gonna possibly see in this movie? Who we have seen in the past? So just everything about the movie that you need to know without spoiling. Because I mean, obviously I haven't watched the movie yet, so I can't spoil.
No shit!
So first of all, here's the summary of Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. In a time of conflict, a group of unlikely heroes band together on a mission to steal the plans to the Death Star, the Empire's ultimate weapon of destruction. This key event in the Star Wars timeline brings together ordinary people who choose to do extraordinary things and in doing so become part of something greater than themselves. So now let's go in details about what's gonna be happening in this movie. First of all, the most important thing that you need to know before watching this movie is that this movie is not an episode movie, which means it's not episode 8, it's not any of the saga movies. This movie is happening between episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and episode 4, A New Hope. So this movie is happening around 19 years after all the events in episode 3, and like right before episode 4 picks off. And just for a trivia, Gareth Edwards, who's a director of Godzilla, the movie that came out a few years ago, he's the same guy that's making this movie, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. And I watched this one featurette where he had a really good point. In fact, he pointed out something really interesting. In episode 4, A New Hope, where we have the opening crawl, so the first paragraph happens, then the second paragraph, he says, during the battle, rebel spies managed to steal secret plans of the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. So what he said is that this movie, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, it is focusing primarily on rebel spies managing to steal secret plans of the Death Star. Now I'm gonna run down with some really small but really interesting facts about this movie and what's happening in this movie. Number one, this is the first ever Death Star. So ignore episode 6, episode 7. This is the first time we're seeing the Death Star being built or the plans being stolen for about its super weapon. Number two, we're gonna be seeing Darth freaking Vader in this movie. It is confirmed. We have seen him in all the trailers, the TV spots, the promo materials. Vader is in this movie and he's gonna be kicking ass, I hope. Number three, this movie is not gonna end on a really happy note. I mean, I know episode 5 seemed really dark, but it did end off like in a really optimistic way where Luke and Leia, they're looking on at the space, at the sky. But this movie is gonna be really, really dark. It is not gonna be your typical Star Wars movie. This is a war film. People are gonna die in this movie because they're gonna be stealing the plans of the Death Star, the Empire's ultimate weapons. Of course, people are gonna die, and this movie is not gonna be the lighthearted as Episode 1 or whatever the movies that came after that. This is gonna be a really dark movie. Number 4, we're gonna be seeing more dangerous types of stormtroopers called as Death Troopers. These guys apparently are really good at accuracy, so they know how to aim. Unlike episode 4, 5, 6, where like, the stormtroopers just suck at aiming at a shot that's right in front of them, apparently these guys are really badass and they are really good shooters. So the rebels, the heroes, the good guys, they need to be afraid for their lives because these Death Troopers, they're dangerous and they know how to shoot well. And this was just confirmed a few days ago. There is no sequel. There is no Rogue 2 or I don't know, it's like some other movie or a prequel or sequel to Rogue One. This Rogue One movie, it is a standalone movie. There are no sequels, prequels whatsoever for Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. So now let's talk about the characters in this movie. Number 1, Felicity Jones is playing Jyn Erso. She's the main protagonist in this movie. Now she also has some personal connections, personal ties to this movie, to the events in this movie, because her father, Galen, played by Mads Mikkelsen, the villain from Doctor Strange, He was forced to build a Death Star on probably a condition that if he doesn't build it, his family was gonna die. And of course, no father wants to see their children and their family die. So of course, I'm guessing that's why he built the Death Star. But of course, to build the super laser in the Death Star, he's gonna need Kyber crystals. Now, if you don't know what Kyber crystals are, they're the things that are used by the Jedi's and the Siths, and now the First Order to build their lightsabers. Kyber crystals are the things that help made the super weapon, the laser in the Death Star. And as we have seen in this movie, we have seen some shots of Jeddah. It's this holy place for the Jedi's. We have seen the Empire having their giant ships or like stormtroopers on this holy place, and this is the same place where a lot of Kyber crystals are found. So of course it makes sense that Galen, he's gonna sort of exploit. I mean, he's forced to exploit the Kyber crystals in this place so that he could help build the laser for the Empire. So now let's talk about the main villain in this movie. Of course, other than Darth Vader, the main villain is gonna be played by Ben Mendelsohn, who's playing director Orson Krennic. So what Orson Krennic's goal is in this movie is that he wants to gain the respect that Grand Moff Tarkin has, who's like the commander of the Death Star. He wants to get up there. Right now he's here. He wants to get up there. So of course it makes sense he's gonna push for building the super weapon, because if he's successful and this super weapon is that dangerous and if people bow down to the Empire, of course his respect and his status is gonna increase exponentially in the Empire ranks. So now let's move on to another character. So first of all, we do know that there aren't going to be many Force users in this movie other than Darth Vader, but we do know there's another person that can use the Force, and he's played by Donnie Yen, who's playing Shiet Yinwei. We know he's the blind guy as shown in all the trailers and footage, so we know he can use the Force, but we don't know if he's a Jedi.
All is as the Force wills it.
One of Shiet Yinwei's friends in this movie is played by Forrest Whittaker, who's playing Saw Gerrera. Now, Saw Gerrera, he's known for his really violent methods, so there are many people who consider him to be a terrorist, but this is one of those persons who you need to help you out against the mission against the Empire, who have dozens and dozens of resources, men, supplies, etc. He's really necessary. He's a vital cog in this fight against the Empire. So we have only 3 more characters left, 3 more main characters in this movie. So Diego Luna is playing Captain Cassine Andor. He's one of the leaders in this operation against the Empire. He's really experienced. He has a lot of victories under his belt. He's really young. He's really smart. He's a great tactician. And he's just one of those people who you need against the Empire, to fight against the Empire. So basically, Captain Andor, he's playing an intelligence officer. But our next character is going to be someone who Captain Andor fixed, who reprogrammed, which is K2SO. He was an Imperial droid, but as I just mentioned, Captain Andor altered him, reprogrammed him.
The captain says you are a friend. I will not kill you.
Thanks.
So our last main character is being played by Riz Ahmed, who's playing Bodie Rook. Now, we don't know a lot about Bodie Rook, except we have seen a lot of him in the trailers and the footage so far. We know he's a person that, when asked about what his call sign is by the Empire, he says Rogue One. And we have seen him a few of the battle scenes, so we know he's going to be a lot in the movie, but we just don't know exactly what his role is going to be.
They are requesting a call sign.
It's, Rogue One.
So that is all the knowledge that you need before you watch Rogue One, a Star Wars story. But now, here's my prediction section. I'm going to predict on who are the people who are going to die in this movie. And sadly, I do think most of these people I just mentioned before are going to die. I do think Shield Inmei is going to die. I do think Bodie Rook is going to die, because in the trailer we had this moment where he's holding this gun. He's like really terrified. He knows that this might be the last time he's going to live.
We'll take the next chance.
I do think Jyn Erso is gonna die, Galen's gonna die, K2SO, Captain Andor, Saw Gerrera, Bodie Rook, and Shield Inmei. It's really sad, but I do think all those heroes are gonna die because of the fact that we've never seen that before, or we've never even heard of these people. These rebel spies who are really important. They stole the plans of the Death Star, but the fact that we didn't hear them kind of suggests to me that they're gonna die in this movie. There's another reason why I think all these characters are gonna die. The fact that I mentioned a few minutes ago that the studio confirmed that there won't be any sequel to Rogue One. That sort of signals, I sort of inferred from it that these characters are gonna die in this movie. Again, I'm probably wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I really want to see these characters again. But by the fact that they're mentioning it and the fact that we've never even seen these characters before or even heard of them, I think they're gonna die in this movie. But one thing I do know, which again, it's my guess and speculation, but I think I'm gonna be 100% right. I think that Darth Vader is gonna kill Krennic. It's the same guy who tried to elevate his status in the Empire, because we know he fails to secure the plans of the Death Star. I think that's gonna really piss off Vader, and I really hope that Vader uses his lightsaber and just chops off Krennic's head. I mean, I just want to see Vader being angry, being pissed off, and I want to see him eat a first choke. But it's gonna be more awesome if he uses his lightsaber and kills Krennic, because the guy, after all, failed, although for the good of the world. He still failed the Empire, so of course he's gonna die, because that's what bad guys do to each other.
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
Finally, so with all of that out of the way, you're now ready to go watch Rogue One, a Star Wars story, on December 16, 2016. Please go watch it, it's gonna be awesome. I'm super excited, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. If you guys like this, please like it, please subscribe, and
May the Force be with you.